Hi, it's author Jeannie Bender with another Lindie Lou and You program. This is session number 4, and it's going to be a very interesting session because I have some really good news for you. I just came back from 3 days at Yellowstone National Park, and I can't wait to tell you all about it. But before I do, I want to welcome you all to Facebook and see who's going to be signing in. I just logged in, so it might take a few minutes for the names to show up. And today is our 4th summer session. So, are there any kids in your neighborhood or relatives or cousins that you think might want to join our Facebook group? If you do, please invite them. We'd love to have them come and join in the fun. So I just would like you to know that I am back in Jackson Hole, Wyoming in my kids' corner. So take a look because next week I am going to be broadcasting from Atlanta, Georgia with a whole new kids' corner. So I have my Lindie Lou and I have my books and I have you. So here we are today in our kids' corner, and I would like to ask you, if you have created a kids' corner in your house, would you please send me a picture? I'm going to show you a picture of a kids' corner that I received this week, and it's kind of special because it has Teddy, and Teddy has 2 kids' corners. Check this out. He has a kids' corner at home. Wait, where is he? Home. And he has a kid corner at his grandma and grandpa's house. So here is an example of a little boy named Teddy. There he is with his cousin Alice, who I believe is with them today. And they are here in their kids' corners. So if you have a kids' corner, make sure you write down a comment and let me know that it's there. And I am going to tell you that I have something very, very special to share with you today. It's about Yellowstone National Park. Yellowstone was the first national park in the whole United States of America. And when people from the government went to this area, they thought it was such a beautiful area that it should not be privatized. It should be kept public for everybody to enjoy. So they determined that it would be a national park. That means that everybody in the public can enjoy this park anytime they like. So I got a chance to go there. I'm in Jackson Hole, and it was about an hour and a half drive into the park, and it was wonderful. And I'd like to show you on a map just exactly where Jackson Hole is. So here we are. Here is a map of Wyoming. And if you can see up in the corner here, there's a little green square. That is Yellowstone. There's an arrow going to it. I think you can see it now. And in Yellowstone, it is actually mostly in the state of Wyoming, but it is also in the state of Idaho and Montana. So when we drove there, we drove through Wyoming, up through Idaho, and into Montana, and came in the west entrance of Yellowstone Park. And it looks like we have some people on today. Hi, Mary. Hi, Sophia. Hi, Lily. Hi, Nancy. Hi, Alice. Hi, Teddy. So nice to see all you guys. Give me a thumbs up. I'd love to see some thumbs up coming in. So I have some very interesting fun facts for you about Yellowstone National Park. First of all, it is I had to scroll down a little bit. In the early 1800s, Native Americans lived here in Wyoming. When they hiked through the area, they noticed some very beautiful yellow sandstone bluffs along the trail. There was also a river flowing through these bluffs, so the Native Americans decided to name the river Yellowstone River, and the name remains the same to this day. And so I would like to show you a picture. Here are some Native Americans, and they're coming into Yellowstone. You can see the Yellowstones in the background, and you can see the Native Americans coming down the Yellowstone River. The Yellowstone River winds its way through the park, and it drains into Yellowstone Lake. There's a lot of snow that melts off the Rocky Mountains, and it goes into the lake. And the more the water fills the lake, it fills up so high that it pours over and runs into the Yellowstone Falls, into the Niagara River. So I'm going to show you some pictures of, here is a picture of the Niagara.
Nancy said you're not on.
Oh, it's showing that I'm on.
She says it's showing she's. I'm going to put you on speaker.
Hey guys, if you can see me, can you please give me a thumbs up? I see Mary and I see Kelly and I see Caleb. So if you guys can see me, will you give me a thumbs up? Because I'm getting a message from Nancy that she can't see me, but it looks like there's people on. So please give me a thumbs up and let me know. It looks like I've been on for 7 minutes. And so I'm going to continue with the story. So the Yellowstone River, which I'm going to show you, is right here. And I am going to also show you, here is the Yellowstone River, a picture that I took yesterday. And I'm going to show you a picture of me near the Yellowstone River. This was such an exciting time for me. And I'm going to show you a picture of Lake Yellowstone. Look how large it is. And can you see the mountains in the background? Oh, good. You can all see me and hear me. That's wonderful. Mary, thanks for letting me know. And so the national parks are really cool. They are all over the United States. There's some in Florida, some in Hawaii, some everywhere. And I would just like you to know that this Yellowstone National Park is amazing because it's thousands of acres, hundreds of thousands of acres. Actually, I don't know how many acres, but a lot. And there are no fences. And it is like going to a wild animal park and seeing wild animals without any fences. So I have some really exciting news to tell you. I saw a lot of wild animals when I was in the park, and I'm going to show you some more pictures. Here is a picture of me with yellow stones. This is the yellow limestone that is so much about why the park is called Yellowstone National Park. Can you see the beautiful yellow limestone? I pulled off the road to take that picture to share with you, but now it's time for me to show you some of the wild animals. Here, can you tell me what this is? Can you type in what this is? This is a buffalo. And I took this picture. And what I'd like you to notice is that on his back, he is losing his fur. And that is called molting. So can you see how the buffalo is molting in this picture? There it is. Pretty amazing. I wasn't quite as close as it looks in this picture. I had to zoom in. And There are also brown bear in the park. These brown bears are very dangerous. You have to be careful not to get near them. They're really tall. They're about twice the size of an average man, and you have to be very careful not to get too close to them. They also have a smaller bear in the park called the black bear. They are also wild, so we have to be careful of them, but they're not as large and they're not quite as dangerous unless they have their cubs with them. Then you better watch out for a bear with its cubs. They are very protective. There are a lot of moose in the park. Now look at these antlers. They are really interesting because I'm going to show you different kinds of antlers of different wild animals in the park. And notice the habitat behind the moose, because that habitat is the spring green growth that they live off of. The moose and the elk and the deer are all vegetarians. They only eat grass and clover and things in the forests. Here is an elk. An elk is a large deer. Now look at the difference in the antlers. They're much larger, they aren't as flat, and they're very beautiful. We saw lots of elk in the park. They're amazing animals to watch and to see. And that is an elk. And then we saw one more animal in the park, and it is, let me find it. It's a picture of Lindie Lou, but she doesn't have a wild animal in her mouth. She has her little stuffy named Coco. So that's another wild animal. Not really. And I want to show you this picture because this was a most incredible moment of my whole time, the 3 days in the park. Look at this. Now, this is really how close I was to the buffalo. I was on the road and they were down in a field, a valley. But as you can see, I was pretty close and the rangers were keeping us very safe. And notice their habitat. They have to eat a lot of grass to grow to be as big as they are. And there were babies there, and there were male and female buffalo, and we spent about a half an hour enjoying about 30 of these animals when we were in Yellowstone National Park. So that's my story about where I've been the last 3 days. So if you've ever been to Yellowstone National Park, I see a lot of thumbs up and things coming in. Oh, Nancy said you have black bears in Wisconsin. Yes, they're all over the northern section of the United States. When I'm in Seattle, Washington, and we go out into the wild, we see black bears there as well. And so I have I'm just so excited about Yellowstone. There's another thing that's really amazing about Yellowstone that maybe the other parks don't have. It used to be an active volcano, and underneath the earth, the center of our earth is a magma, which is a very hot melted rock center of the earth. And sometimes this hot magma starts moving up towards the top of the earth, and it reaches up into an area where there's a lot of moisture. And when you see that moisture, it shoots out of the ground and is a huge steam that comes out of the ground. And they're called geysers. And there aren't very many geysers in the world, but one of the most famous ones is called Old Faithful, and it's in Yellowstone Park. And the reason they call it Old Faithful is because almost every hour it erupts, sometimes an hour 15, but it's faithfully erupted for many, many years. So we got a chance to go there and see it. And I have a picture. So here I am in Yellowstone Park. And we waited about an hour for Old Faithful to erupt. And when it did, it shot about 130 30 feet into the air. And we were in a lookout area and we got a chance to see Old Faithful. So if you go into the park, there's so much to see and do. There are the wild animals. There are no fences. It's like going on a safari in your car. You drive for miles and days through the park. So make sure you ask your parents and grandparents to take you to the national parks in the United States and in the world. They really are an experience and they really are worth it. I so love them. So I took a lot of time with Yellowstone, so my story time section is going to be a little bit short. I know what you want to ask me. You want to ask me, has Lindie Lou ever seen any wild animals? Well, I don't remember her being in an encounter with a bear or a moose or a buffalo. And it's probably a good thing because she would probably run after it and maybe wouldn't be here today, right? Yes, because you think you're a toughie. But I have a really cute story. One time we were in England and we went to an area called Wimbledon, which is famous for tennis tournaments, but it also is famous for its horses. And there's a lot of riding clubs and a lot of young boys and girls who go to the riding clubs and ride the horses. And one day we were there visiting a park in Wimbledon, and a couple of horses came by with some little boys and girls on them, and they had their little hats on and their little jackets and their boots, and they were riding through the park. And Lindie Lou saw this horse and she thought, oh my gosh, that must be a big dog. So do you know what Lindie Lou did? She went and ran after the horse because we didn't have to put her on a leash in this park. It was far away from the cars and far away from the roads. And the horse stopped and it looked at Lindie Lou, and Lindie Lou looked at the horse, and she started barking at it. Can you believe it? And do you know that the horse just turned and looked at her, put her nose down, and started sniffing Lindie Lou? Well, she couldn't quite get her nose close enough to Lindie Lou. And Lindie Lou was so excited, she just kept barking and barking until I went over and picked her up and took her away. So that's the only wild animal encounter I can think of that Lindie Lou has ever had. So that's my story time for today. If you like my story time, please give me a thumbs up and the stories about Yellowstone, because I am going to travel to many interesting places and teach you a lot about the world. So now we're going into the section where I'm going to talk to you about somebody very special in my life who has either changed my life or helped me with my Lindie Lou books. And I'd like to show you a picture of this very special person in my life. And let's see if I can find it. I've got everything figured out on my phone. Here is a picture of a man, and he's hard to see because he has his COVID mask on. Good thing, because we are in Yellowstone, and it is my husband. His name is Carlos Irvine. And Carlos is a very big part of my life. He is very international. He loves to travel. And because he and I have the same passion for travel, we are going to be able to share the world with you. So I am giving a shout out to Carlos Irvine today and saying thank you so much for coming into my life and sharing the world with me. He was so excited to go to Yellowstone. He's so excited to go anywhere as long as we're out there traveling. So we will share the world with you. So my favorite, very special person to share with you today is Carlos Irvine. And so it is time for us almost to announce the winner of the bookmark activity challenge. But before we do, I would like to say that there's going to be a question and answer period. And so if you can think of a question, go ahead and type it in for me. because it takes a while for things to show up. It says Caleb has been to a national park that's here in San Diego on Point Loma when he was a baby. It's called the Cabrillo National Park. Oh, wonderful, Caleb. You'll have to put Yellowstone National Park on your list. And Nancy said, Teddy and Alice loved your story about the horse. Oh, thank you. And Teddy says, thank you, Carlos. Oh, these are so adorable. I'm so glad I'm seeing this. Nancy said also that they have black bears in Wisconsin, but I've already read that. So now it is time for me to tell you who won the activity challenge. And it was really fun getting these bookmark pictures from everybody. And so I am going to show you pictures of some of the bookmarks before I announce the winner. And the first one I'm going to show you. By the way, these are so adorable and they are all age levels. So I would like you to know this. Here is Ryan's bookmark. He drew a bookmark of his house, which I think is just so special. So there's Ryan's. And I can't show them all to you, of course. Here's one of a ship. Very interesting. Sideways. See, normally it would be this way, but he drew it sideways. And here's Teddy's. Hey, Teddy, thank you for sending this in. I think it's a very excited boy typing in a very excited, fun thing. And now I'm going to show you who the winner is. First of all, I'm going to show you somebody named Mochi. This cute little kitten, Mochi, inspired this little boy who is our winner today's bookmark. His name is Caleb. Hi, Caleb. And this is the cutest bookmark. I'm going to zoom in on it. And so here it is. And it says, he drew Lindie Lou. And he said, Lindie Lou, meet Mochi. So his bookmark was inspired by his cat wanting to meet Lindie Lou. And I just think this is so colorful. Look how he colored all the footprints. And so we have a winner. The winner of the Lindie Lou Cup to put your pens, pencils, crayons, whatever you like, is Caleb. So congratulations, Caleb. And Lindie Lou says hello to Mochi. She's very happy to meet Mochi. And that is the winner of our activity challenge. We will be sending that cup out real soon. And we have another question. Oh, I'm going to do the questions in a minute. First of all, I'd like to tell you what the activity challenge is going to be for next week. As you know, we talked about animals in their habitat. A habitat is an animal's home. It's the environment where they live in. So our activity challenge for next week is for you to draw your favorite wild animal in its habitat, in its home. So we would like you to draw your favorite wild animal in its home, and whoever gives us the best picture. Now, I'm not saying best by the fact that it's best colored or it's the best detailed. I'm saying if it's the best idea. And so your habitat, it doesn't matter if you're a talented illustrator. It doesn't matter if you know how to draw. You might even find out you can draw better than you think. Make sure you give us your favorite wild animal in its habitat. I will post the sheet on our Lindie Lou Books Facebook page so you can copy it, print it, and send it back to me either on Facebook or on jbenderbooks@gmail.com. And next week, we'll have another winner. And the winner of the Wild Animal Drawing Activity Challenge is going to get a Lindie Lou Stuffy. we're going to give another Lindie Lou stuffy away. Aren't you excited? So put your pens and crayons and ideas together and come up with your favorite habitat. And good luck to you all. I hope you get a chance to win the stuffy next week. So now it's time for our question and answer section. And I saw a question from Nancy. She asked, how do buffaloes act towards each other? Oh my gosh, I'm so glad you asked this question because we watched them for 30 minutes. Most of them just laid in the valley. They were out in the sun, so they were very calm. There were babies that were nursing. There were babies just laying in the sun. And then out of the blue, we saw two male buffaloes with horns, and they started sparring, which means bucking each other with their heads and their horns. And we were so amazed because the ranger who was there said, oh, this is so rare. They don't usually do this when there are people around. And they were sparring and trying to show which one was the biggest and which one is the strongest. And I took a video. So I have about a 25-second video I'm going to post on our Facebook group of these two buffaloes sparring, because for the most part, they're just eating or walking or laying in the grass. So this was a very exciting moment for me. And your question, Nancy, was perfect. So also, I'm getting it's my little sister, Meow. Oh, how sweet. Teddy and Alice are going to do the wild animal today so they don't forget. Oh, what a great idea. So when the program's over, they're going to already start their activity challenge. So come along and join them. Can somebody win a prize 2 times? Absolutely. Sometimes I can't even tell between the different activities, and I have to do the random number test, which is the most likely way to win 2 times. But fair is fair. Whoever gives us the greatest idea and is really clever with their ideas of what they share and what they put into their activity, they certainly have a chance to win more than once. Absolutely. Good question. So I think that we are running out of time, and it's been a beautiful session. Thank you for letting me share Yellowstone National Park with you. I don't know if you can see, but there's a buffalo with horns on my t-shirt. Let's see if I can move my hair. There. With horns on my t-shirt. So if you get a chance to go to Yellowstone, you'll get a chance to see buffaloes in the wild. Thank you so much for joining the fun. I look forward to you coming next week. And make sure that you make a kids' corner or go to your kids' corner and enjoy it, because it's your place to be alone, to relax, to read, to learn adventures that aren't necessarily out in the world. They can be learned through adventure series books, or they can be learned through stories by people who travel like me. So thanks for coming along for the fun at the Lindie Lou and You Facebook program. And remember, it's all about Lindie Lou and you.